The fact America doesn't what?
The fact that America does not exist.
Okay. Hey everybody, so this is another series from myself and Vinny, and this is called So What Do You Think About That? And this is where we will think and talk about conspiracy theories and theories that we have of our own, which this episode is one of Vinny's theories, which I have been bawling at, and I thought that it needs to come online. You guys need to hear this theory. It is amazing.
Yeah, so
go ahead, Vinny. Share your thoughts.
My thought, I don't believe America exists, Jack.
Okay, so tell me how and why you can back this up.
Well, all right, think of this.
All right, I'm thinking.
Back in the 1600s, there was this huge movement. All of these people from specifically from what is now the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and people from, the rest of Europe wanted religious freedom, and they wanted to be able to go somewhere else where they could practice their religion freely. So they found this land that was this free. But keep in mind, these people are very, very proud people. They had guns, they had very sophisticated weapons, and they were coming into this land and they were going to take it as their own. Right. They get there and immediately are defeated by the natives that live there.
Right.
So the UK, knowing how stubborn that you English people are, is going to be like, we're not backing down. We're going to send soldiers, our military. We're taking that land, because that's what they did. Imperial, England, they conquered basically most of the known world. They're like, we're going to take that land. So they get there. Yeah. And they're immediately defeated. They lose thousands of men. By the late 1700s, they have lost thousands upon thousands, perhaps even millions of soldiers.
Okay.
To the natives that live there. But the English, they're too ashamed to admit that they could be defeated by what they would have called, native, savage race of people, how they weren't very kind to anybody they conquered. They just basically called everybody a savage and just, pillaged and did terrible things to them. And on top of that, on top of their disgrace, they lost thousands of men. They couldn't go back to their family and say, your husband or your son, he died in a battle against people with bows and arrows. That would have been such a disgrace. So they made up this whole thing about there being this revolution, and they had these people, and that, that these locals were the local Europeans that were living there were calling themselves colonists, and they went in and defeated the English, and all these men died and blah, blah, blah. When in reality, there's a small island just off the coast of England that nobody knows about that they're calling the Americas. That is not the actual Americas that the English lost their battle to. And that is where I live right now.
Okay, so if that's where you live, what about everyone else? And because you have to admit, America, the time zones is ridiculous for America.
Time is a construct. Time is a construct.
Time is just but an illusion.
Yeah, time was invented so people could sell clocks. That's why time exists.
Actually, I believe that one. But okay, so wait. But you have to admit, so you say you're New York. Lovely.
New York.
That was the best accent I've ever done. So you say like Arizona and places like that don't exist?
Yeah, no, they don't. They're actually, as a matter of fact, Australia doesn't exist either.
I was waiting to see how long that one would come up. Do you just believe it is a hologram?
Yeah.
The rest of America is a hologram.
None of it exists. It's all, what happened is actually the English, what they did is they had all these prisoners and they didn't have any more room in their jails. So they just rounded up a whole bunch of prisoners, put them on ships, and sunk the ships in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and said, "Oh, we sent them to some foreign land called Australia, and they're living there, and they're just fine." But that's not true at all. They're all dead.
right? So, hold up. So not only are you saying these places don't exist, there's not just these places with people, it's a whole ecosystem that you're on about no longer exists. So
Yep, not no longer. It never did exist.
What? But we have enough evidence. Like, people go there on holidays.
What evidence? Have you? Okay, so this is the point. You could literally take an airplane into the sky, fly around for circles, so it's like hours and hours pass, and then land somewhere on a tropical island somewhere and call it Australia. You know?
But, I mean, I suppose. But, right. We have satellite imagery of both of these places.
Well, the Earth is flat, so I mean that's like complete. We know the governments are lying to us.
If the Earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off the edge by now, right? So I don't think the Earth.
I mean,
is flat.
if it literally cats actually rule the other side of the flat Earth, it's literally just all cats on the other side of the flat Earth.
Do you know how many comments we're gonna get going, wait, does he seriously believe this? I thought we were under the impression that the Earth is carried on a turtle's back and we're flying through space.
No, of course not. The Earth is a square. It is a cube. It has 6 sides to it.
But you just said it was flat.
It's flat on one of the sides, yes.
What? You just said it was flat and the cats. Like,
yes, the cat. It's a cube. It's cats are on the other side, but there's on each side there's a completely different species that rules that side. On this side, it's the primate humans that rule. On the other side, there are cat-like people that are sentient, that are bipedal. There are bipedal sentient cats.
So by
on the
that
other
then,
side.
shouldn't there then also be a canine side?
Yeah, and there's also a lizard side. That's why whenever we hear about the lizard people that live inside the Earth, they don't live inside the Earth. They live on, one of the other surfaces.
Wait, so right. So that's 4 species, right? We have 6 sides if we're going through a cuboid.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to list all of them?
Go
I can list all of them. There is a side where dinosaurs still rule. And it's not the lizard side, believe it or not, because the dinosaurs are actually closer to the bird.
Yeah, that is the one thing that you've said that I completely agree with you through evolution. Actually, talking about that, sorry, you just reminded me. Do you know, like, a T-Rex roar? Like, people,
what?
Do you know, like, on films, like dinosaurs, and they have, like say Jurassic Park, and they have the T-Rex do the big roar? Someone has just made that sound up. And that's right. They actually think a T-Rex sounds... It sounded more like a quack. they genuinely, they were able to get, like, the, what's it called?
Just imagining this giant thing comes up to you and boom, boom, boom,
Quack.
quack.
They're able to, like, recreate the throat of a T-Rex, and genuinely it came out with a sound more like a quack, like just a big quack.
Oh, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. Just imagine, like, that's the least intimidating. Oh my goodness.
That would completely change everything in Jurassic Park, especially the ending where, like, the sign falls down, starts wrapping around, and you just hear the T-Rex go quack.
I can't stop laughing at that. That's beautiful. That is brilliant. Oh, I love that.
There you go. That's some actual information.
Yeah.
This is Vinny's facts.
Vinny's facts with Vinny's. Vinny's facts with Vinny's. Also, I have schizophrenia. I have multiple personalities. So it's facts not just with Vinny, but facts with Vinny's. Multiple Vinny's.
This version of Vinny believes. The next episode, the next Vinny's like, did I say something weird on the last episode? That wasn't me, that was Patricia.
That wasn't me, that was Patricia. It was Patricia. No, it's my alter ego.
See, I know you said alter ego, but it sounded like you said eagle.
I did say alter ego.
That's how American you are.
Yeah. American, big air quotes.
America.
Oh, by the way, that entire thing, the whole meme was invented by England, so people would really firmly believe in America.
Wait, whoa, say that again.
That whole meme, the America and, America 100, Alabama, that whole thing, Alabama 100 meme, that was invented by England. Alabama doesn't exist. Think about it. Have you ever met anyone from Alabama?
I've never... you're the only American I really know. Actually, that's a lie. I know a couple of Americans, and only one of them I have met in person.
Yeah, and you've only met one of them in person who claims to be from somewhere in the Midwest, but, for all you know, he could be, I don't know, whatever the European version of the CIA is.
You'd just still be CIA.
Oh, okay.
we have literally have MI5 and other places. I suppose like CIA would be MI5 for us. So where did we go from? Your
America doesn't exist.
Yeah, and then you chatting shit about Australia doesn't exist.
Australia doesn't
the British
exist.
sunk their ships.
I mean, England doesn't exist either, if we're being honest.
I can firmly say England does exist. I live here, and I've been around the country.
Have you ever been above it and seen the entire island? It's a peninsula. It's not an island.
I've never left the country or off it.
England is actually a peninsula, and islands that's only surrounded on 3 sides by water.
I'm pretty sure we're surrounded on all sides.
Yeah, but you are but you're not. Have you ever been to all coasts of?
The only coast I haven't been is the very tippy top of Scotland.
Yeah, that's because it's actually attached to Norway.
But my mother-in-law has been to the very tippy top of Scotland.
Your mother-in-law was clearly hallucinating.
Right?
I don't know what your mother-in-law was on that day, but that doesn't exist.
She was actually in Wales.
Yeah. She's actually in northern Wales.
She's just like, these guys talk a bit weird from what I remember. They don't quite sound as angry.
So wait, so she's been to Shetland? What's the
very tippy top?
The furthest? What's the furthest? Because isn't Shetland an island?
Shetland.
It's on an island.
Is it? There is the Shetland Isles, but hold on. So East May would be near the top, but I'm pretty sure there's a little village.
Okay, so you know this map was fabricated by the government. Google is run by the governments, regardless of what Google says.
Right. Okay.
And the governments are actually lizard people from the other part of the earth.
But how? When they can't get to our side? I thought
nobody ever said they couldn't.
I thought we.
And we can get to their side. We just don't have the technology.
So what happens if we drill?
Also, I should mention
through?
the moon is a cylinder, and we're only seeing one side of it.
Right. Okay, we're gonna call it for this episode before I lose the will to live. So tune in at some other point to hear some more crackpot theories, either from Vinny or myself. You never know. I may have a psychotic break and believe half of this shit. So
I really do want to make it clear, though, that I'm completely making this all.
He's lying. This is one of his alter egos coming through.
All right. Anyways, Jack, burn those nachos, mate.
Burn those nachos, and see you later, everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.